Ugh, I think I finally figured out what that sound is. Maybe it's the sound of the stink that comes out of a skunk's ass. And you know, that couldn't be any more appropriate with this title, because this one's a real stinker. And with that said, I want to thank the publisher for sending me this game to review. I'm sorry in advance, because I'm about to rip it to shreds. The first Skunk bundle. Let me first get this out of the way. This is not a budget game. Get that thought out of your mind. Every time you're watching this, you're like, oh yeah, it's a $3 game. No, this is not a budget game. This title costs $24.99. Playing it, I had to wonder if they really meant that price, or if it's one of those normal price $1,000, but for the next 10 minutes you can get it for 5 cents. You know what I mean, those overpriced to look like you're getting a bargain games or products. I can tell you that for sure this game is not worth $25. It's not even worth 10, maybe 5. It has 5 games which seemed like they were originally going to be games on their own, but the publisher decided like no one was going to buy them, so they just packaged them up. That's just my theory on how this came together. Because there's no real flow to any of these games. I mean, they jump genre like crazy. By the way, I have no idea why they call this the first Skunk bundle, as it's actually the second. Because it's the same company who made Minigame Madness Volume 1. Which, by the way, I didn't hate. Why not call this Volume 2? Now, the 5 games in this collection are called Haunted Hotel, Snake Classic, Catchy, Bomb Blaster, and Zombie Epic. Normally I would talk about which one I liked from best to worst. Since I only really liked one game, it would just be a list of which one I disliked the least. So I'm just gonna go in order. There were so many in here I wanted to like, but there were so many bad gameplay designs made. This is especially true for the very first game I'm going to talk about, which is Haunted Hotel. As that game, I could do a review on just that game itself. You're in this hotel, and you have to make your way to the roof. For some reason. My guess is that you're an urban ghost explorer who decides to check out these 10 floors of this hotel. On each of these floors, you're going to have to find a key to a door, which has been placed in one of the rooms or hallway. Your only concern is keeping your energy-inefficient flashlight from running out of batteries. If you're going to be like an explorer who does this sort of thing, you probably should buy a flashlight that lasts longer than a couple minutes. This game reminded me of my Wii review of The Grudge, as it had the same gameplay idea, only done way better. Now, there are batteries everywhere, so don't ever worry about it. You'll encounter ghost scares and creatures on your journey, and they do absolutely nothing to you. I mean, they don't even drain your batteries. In fact, it's pretty clear that the ghost scares are on trigger points. So on multiple runs, I always knew how to avoid the ghost scares, not that it really mattered, just because it was kind of irritating. Or I could run back and forth through that trigger point just for fun, since I needed to come up with some enjoyment in this game. There are voices for the ghosts that you encounter, but they were so muddled and hard to make out, you'll be thankful for the captioning. When you get a key, you're going to need to equip it from your inventory box. Now, looking at all these inventory slots, you might be thinking, wow, there's going to be a lot of things to collect. Well, no. I beat this game, and the most I ever had was 2 keys. And I think that was just a glitch, because it was just a key that I didn't ever use again. Because once you use a key in a door, it's supposed to go away, but for some reason it didn't go this time. So why were there so many inventory slots? In fact, if you're using a 1 key per floor system, why do you even need an inventory slot system? Just say we have the key and have us open the door. Oh, by the way, you see that red arrow that's always on the screen? That'll take you back to the game list. So be careful not to hit it, as it will not ask you for confirmation. And you'll have to start all the way from the beginning floor. I learned that the hard way when I was over halfway done, and it kicked me back to the main menu. I guess, luckily, since the game doesn't change anything, I sped through the floors because I knew exactly where everything was. So I guess the replay value on this is almost nothing, unless you want to see all the ghosts, which you won't, by the way. The key placement was usually easy to find, except on the 9th floor, where, no joking aside, I spent 20 minutes searching every room, inch by inch, looking for it. I was in the room for so long that one of the ghosts just slowly left. I think maybe the ghost got bored and like, oh man, is this guy ever going to find the dang key? I finally found it blended in with this broken soda machine. Oh my goodness, I have so much in this game alone. In this part where there's a very long hallway that makes no sense for the rest of the hotel. I mean, the rest of the hotel is just like 3 doors only, but this one has like 17. What's this hotel, like a rectangle, but where one part has a really long part sticking out? Maybe it's like a T shape. And the whole thing is that you have a key at the beginning door, and there's all these other doors you can go into, but they have like practically nothing in them. You can see like heads of things or people like that. It's not even worth it. The key that you have to use, which by the way is optional on this floor, which makes no sense based on the other floors, is at the very, very end. And this hallway is so long. So you unlock that door and you just see a hippie ghost and there's nothing in there for you other than him telling you that you're in the way of his TV watching. So then you gotta walk all the way down the hall again because the stairway is all the way back at the beginning. Like I said, this whole thing is optional. I guess maybe it's just like a bonus if you want to check it out or not. Why is there wall sticking out that only exists on one side. If you look at the other side, it's just gone. Was this the ghost of a wall that was once murdered? Some construction worker murdered it, and it came back for revenge. Why is there a key stuck in the middle of the hole of a ghost? I am not kidding on this one. That is literally where it is. This ghost has spastic diarrhea, and you have to unplug the key and just let it flow. By the way, that's not the only body fluid joke in here. I counted at least 4 of them. Why is there power to run the fans but no lights? Why is there a camera? No, I gotta stop. Seriously, there's 4 more games, but I've got pages of notes on this game alone. Moving on. Snake Classic. Have you ever played that game on your old Nokia phone where you're a snake who eats blocks and it makes your tail grow? And you have to keep playing until the snake hits its tail? That is exactly what this game is. Nothing more. I mean, what do you expect though? It's called Snake Classic for a reason. One of the more annoying parts was that you could accidentally go backwards into yourself and lose. I'm not sure how that would work anatomically, but whatever. It's a very basic game. Catchy! This is a temple puzzle game of sorts. You slowly move through the areas collecting the onks to make the exit appear. There are many levels to play, but holy crap, you're not going to have the patience to get past the first few. The main character feels like he's exploring the ruins of the moon, as his jumps were so imprecise and delayed. This one might have been better if the main character didn't control like a robot. Bomb Blaster! Finally, a game I liked. This one you could tell the creator put the most polish into, and for good reason. It was fun. It's just kind of an Angry Birds without the slingshot. Well, kinda, but it's still enjoyable. You have to place bombs and blow up the structures, and the boxes the weird monster-looking things were sitting on. If they fall off the world, you win. Plus, the less bombs you use, the better. If you do well, you unlock trophies. If you earn trophies, you can unlock new worlds. There were not a lot of levels to play. At least they were fun and very replayable. Good job on this one. Then there's Zombie Epic. This one was just odd. It started up like a choose-your-own-adventure game. Listen to this.
As the butcher's knife approaches my head, I'm now faced with a simple choice of life or death. Should I break my restraints and choke out the butcher, or should I just lay here and die?
If you decide to die, the game ends. It just restarts, with the same voiceover without it being skippable. If you do fight back, you'll fight against a few bad guys. And if you kill them, you just walk around in a huge warehouse with nothing to do. Seriously, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. There's nothing to kill or anywhere to go. Did I just break this game? There's also an endless zombie horde mode, where you and another guy back-to-back kill zombies. One of you has a gun and the other one has a machine gun. You use the ZL and ZR buttons to fire their different guns. You keep killing them until you eventually get overrun. This game is okay, but really repetitive. Maybe one of the reasons this game is so expensive is the background songs throughout it. Why did they need to have an emo version of Hotel California playing in the background? Or the piano version of Time of Your Life by Green Day as the music that you listen to on the main menu? I asked the publisher and they said they had the rights to use it, but I have to wonder why they even bothered. There is a full song you can listen to in the Haunted Hotel if you reach the end. And is it fitting that in order to stop listening to that song, you have to push a button to kill yourself by jumping off the roof? I can't take this song anymore! It's worth it to die! The first Skunk bundle is hopefully going to be the last one of these at this crazy price. Graphically, it's all over the place. It looks great in the Bomb Blaster game, but terrible in Haunted Hotel. It controlled poorly a lot of the times. If this game was $4.99, I'd be way more forgiving of a lot of it. However, they're charging almost $25 for this game, and I have to wonder what you would get out of it. A clunky, boring haunted house simulator, a game you might see on a flip phone, a boring puzzle jumping game, an Angry Birds type game, and a zombie game that kind of feels like a free Flash game. Now, this might not shock you, but I think you should just skip this game. Well, that's my review of the first Skunk bundle. Why don't you check out my last review of Super Mario 64 DS. Or you can check out my classic review of the other haunted house simulator that I was talking about, The Grudge. You can follow me on Twitter at Wiiviewer to hear about the latest Nintendo news and stuff about my channel. And like always, I thank you guys for watching.